Welcome. Today I have a special offering around criticism and judgment in relationship to being authentic. If you're anything like me, the experience of blame and criticism has created a lot of coping, a lot of survival strategies where being who I needed to be was more important than knowing how I really felt. How I really felt was not acknowledged, and I learned that I really didn't matter at those times in my life. So bringing myself into the situation wasn't something that I was able to do, and I just became whoever I needed to be. This video is designed to create support for criticism, judgment, and allow that actually to be a source of strength and momentum in creating authenticity. The authentic aspect of ourselves versus the non-authentic or the false self. It's pretty obvious to most of us, not everyone. It's pretty obvious when we're being true to ourselves versus when we're not being true to ourselves. There's usually a felt sense of what's true versus what isn't. Now, we can get used to lying. We can get used to being whoever we're being at the time, wearing many masks, being who we need to be to fit into certain situations. We can get used to that. That can get comfortable. When we are able to express our true feelings, when our heart is really being able to be accessed and felt, it's very different than wearing a mask. The contrast here is really relevant when we're talking about criticism and judgment. It's usually criticism and judgment that fuels the mask, that creates that persona that keeps us safe. So here's the challenge. Here's the offering. So you stand and you can look into a mirror. You can look into something that you've created. So it doesn't have to be a mirror. It could be anything that you've created. It could be a photograph. It could be something. It could be that you cleaned your room and you're just looking at the room that you cleaned. It could be absolutely anything, but something to do with something that you created. So I created this. I washed my car. Whatever it is that you're connecting with, that you created for yourself. And in that process of connecting to your creative expression, what are you noticing in your body? What are you noticing in your thoughts? Are you judging it? What's happening? The experience of observing our creative experience, the experience of stepping away from judgment and criticism and more into observing, more into neutrality in the creative experience, creates more strength, more peace in the ability of being with ourselves. So if, for example, I am judging how I am doing this video, then I'm having a really hard time of knowing me because I'm so used to the judge, right? So used to appeasing the judge that where did Paul go? So appeasing the judge, appeasing the critic, that's the focus instead of just being the observer of the experience. There's a difference, right? What does it feel like to observe your creative experience? That's the offering. So like I was saying, you can do that by looking in the mirror and see what you're creating right here. Look at your body, look at you, and look at whatever you're seeing as you're looking at your body, and just be neutral. Just observe, see what you're seeing, see what you're feeling. What is your experience? Are there thoughts? Are there sensations? Are there emotions? What is your experience? So the mirror is pretty powerful in that way, and not everybody's ready for the mirror, and that's totally fine. There's been times when I've definitely not been ready for the mirror. So use a creative experience. Use anything. Use a chore like I was suggesting. Use anything that you have personally created. It could just be like you, as simple as you moved a book from one part of the table to the other, that you did that and you observed that. So it seems a little bit ridiculous in some ways, but at the same time, if you're observing how you did something, you're observing the aspects of your creative process, being more of the observer, being more a neutral party, it strengthens your ability to see yourself. Please share your experience of this below. I think we'll have a lot of different experiences to share that will foster a lot of opportunity for us here. So much love.